One day, James the Red Engine was due to take a passenger train down the track. He was bound back his coaches, but he derailed his tender. His tender was completely off the tracks. According to James himself, now James at night was at the works. His driver finally got home. Stupid coaches. I'm sure I'm gonna teach them a jolly good lesson. See them. Maybe the control will get some nice and proper coaches for a change. They are proper coaches. Even they look like it. The boys made James jumped. He saw something. Yeah, they looked like coaches. But then the engine backed up. The engine soon came up backing up his coaches. James was getting nervous. The cold air started feeling chilly. The engine stopped. He didn't release steam or anything. He looked at James. Coaches coming, man. This is different size of my big red engine friend. You might be call you Rusty Red, would you? Oh, well, no, James said, gathering his courage, because I'm not a Rusty Red scrap iron. I did say scrap iron. I said Rusty Red. Anyway, that's because I'm not Rusty Red. But you were be some engines such as me. So by logic, you must not be a real red engine. James was getting cross. I am a real red engine. I pulled fresh trains along my line. I'm afraid those cattle cars are coaches. The engine corrected. They let me have an accident. That's why I'm here in the works now. It's all their fault. I was figuring it would be weird for you to come here. But what are you talking about? James looked around the engine. He was pulling 3 sets of coaches, and they were dirty, along with the engine himself, front to back to front. And the engine and the coach were dirty. The engine looked at the side, looked up, and look at James. What? Said James. You remind me of someone that I personally knew. James was getting confused. Now, what? The engine looked down his buffers. I used to know an engine just like you. What are you talking about? The engine looked down crossly, firmly, but then the engine's grim, a little wider and smiling, like steam hissed quietly from his pistons. Because of James looked in the sky, but he felt like he should have been painted red. But he was glad he was not painted. Even though James was not painted blue, he still felt like he shouldn't have been painted like that from the cold feeling he was getting from this engine. I suppose tell you something that no one really ever talks about this railway. Not that I'm surprised, that is. It's a bit of a mystery, but you insist that I'll tell you. And so, the engine began. The Northwest Railway was going going through a tough time. Engines are being late at times, and some others broke down. Everyone has been working hard trying to get the trains done on time. So, engines will come in to help. Trains. Oh, where is she? Where is she? Said Tomar. Said a very upsetting Tomar. Mar? About time. About time you showed up, Emily. Said Tomar. I thought you were supposed to be a passenger engine. Don't leave me, Tomar, said Emily. A faulty signal. Of course. It's always something else. This is not the great Tomar way. The what? Something I made up myself. Control doesn't want nothing big. He always had to see everything. And with that, he puffed away with his passenger train, cross, late, and very dismayed. Tomar was soon chuffing along the track. He was picking up speed. Then he saw the controller, a.k.a. Sir Tom Hat, waiting the platform. Tomar. I know Emily was late. I know that. Yes, sir. Listen, I know the world was going a bit too wild, so I'm getting some engines to help. Oh, thank goodness. So far, the new engines have been working around Sodor, so I won't be able to introduce to you them yet. However, I did find this engine who was not doing work for a moment. He's very kind of reliable engine. Then Tomar looked aside and saw a red engine sitting with puffing in the yard with some coaches. They were creamy orange, just like the bogey green coaches. However, they have different paint jobs and different wheel style. As he saw, he saw Tomar sitting in the side. He slammed on his brakes and came to a halt. Hello, Tomar. It's so nice to meet you. I heard so much about you. No problem. Bro, it was lovely to make your acquaintance. But, who are you? Oh, forgive me. My name is Alan. Nice to meet you, Alan. Lynn. Now, where's the controller? Oh, yeah. Here I am. Oh, hello, Sir Topham Hatt. Hello, Alan. Now, you... yeah, really useful. Sorry, I've been busy the moment. Mustache. I'll leave you two alone. So, what have you been doing lately? That depends. What are you doing? Depends. What are you doing? Wait. I'm pulling this grimy, dirty, freaky train. What about the train? It's not the train. Look at these coaches, Tomar. Those coaches? Yeah, what about them? You see these coaches? Yes. Why? If you love to know. Oh, these coaches are small and useless. Old, small, and useless. I can't be a really useful engine with smaller coaches. Now listen, Alan. You gotta understand what Satama been going through his life. Those coaches are worth lots of more money to get you these from old other railways. Other railways don't even use those coaches like them. And some engines do, as well as some people, you might say. You gotta understand that some people have different technology they use. Like iPhones, laptops, and apps. And sometimes for engines like us, they throw us to the scrap yard. Now listen, Tomar. Now, I know you want to be useful, but you gotta do things the Great Furnace Railway way. There are two ways of doing things. The Great Furnace Railway way and the Great Wrong way. The Great Furnace Railway is to do the right thing and do work properly. You need to learn that, Tomar. Mar. Soon the signal dropped and Alan off the way with his coaches. The coaches will cross. Tomar could tell this was not going to end well. Oh dear, he said. The coaches will cross, said Alan. They had heard what he had told them, and they were not pleased at all. You silly twit, he said. They said to Alan. You are a terrible engine. You need to treat coaches with respect. Otherwise, they might pay you out. Shut up. Shut up, Alan groaned. Alan raced. Alan was going so fast, he woke up a sleepy Gordon. Gordon was upset. Emily, who was at the station, saw him. Oh dear, said Emily. Alan began picking up more speed. He bumped the coaches when they made some stops. He even bumped them when Alan's driver had to do something in his cab, and he had to stop the train to examine Alan's cab carefully, because Alan has some problems in his cab at times. Alan didn't care one bit of it. He just wanted the coaches to be quiet for God's sake. Soon, Alan's problems were finally set off, and Alan began picking up speed. He began pulling the coaches in a tight twist. The coaches would cross. Alan was passing the lumber yard. Then, as he was in the middle of the yard, the coach's brakes came on. Alan was surprised. He screeched to a halt. Whoa! Alan cried. Alan's wheels were still slipping when they were stopping. The driver jumped out. Here's the problem, they said. The coaches have his brakes are tight. Let's fix that problem. And the driver did. He examined all the coaches' brakes carefully. He even went, the middle coach went inside to get some of the from the passengers. He borrowed a tool from the passengers to fix the brakes. Here we go. Oh, fix the screwdriver. Here's a screwdriver. You fix it. Thank you, said to the guard. Let's fix it. So they soon fixed the problem. All right, Alan, said the driver. Let's go to the Elbridge station now. Alan didn't care about station. He was furious. He thought the coaches were doing it on purpose. Up along the track. Because of Alan's lateness, Alan was now going to get in trouble with the Fat Controller. Alan still arrived at the station. The passengers jumped off and they hopped inside Birdie. Birdie drove away. Alan was cross. Stupid tricks. Coaches. Alan was soon shunting his coach in the yards. You stupid coaches, he groaned. You caused that because you think what I did was bad, he said. You guys are a bunch of old antiques. That was not my fault. That was your fault, said the coaches. This is one of the coaches. Just who in the front and the back of Alan. You stupid egghead, you need to learn some respect. Alan was furious now. He tried his best to hold his temper, but that's where the coaches made a serious mistake. You need to shut your mouth and think about our actions. She said, how he feels, said the second coach. Yeah, said the brake coach. You stupid big red and tuna fish sandwich twit. Alan was so furious. The coaches had done it now. He banged the coaches into on the points and damaged them. Ah! Cried a scream. Alan had been paying attention to the buffers first properly and damaged and crashed into a flatbed who was left on the line on the siding. The brake van was derailed as well. It has two bogie wheels. The brake van's bogie wheels are damaged. The flatbed was crushed. The buffers were bent, but they weren't the most damaged. That brake belonged to the three coaches all behind Alan. They were scratched, crushed, and smashed into pieces. The trucks screamed in horror at the fate of the coaches. Alan didn't care one bit. The driver was surprised. He looked at the engine carefully. Alan wasn't damaged. Only the coaches and the brake van and the flatbed. Alan smirked. He didn't care one bit. This is what you get for being old and weak antiques. If you were proper coaches, this wouldn't have happened. Maybe, said the trucks, if you had been more patient, this wouldn't have happened, the truck said. The first truck said, yeah, said the van. You are a terrible engine. Alan didn't care. He just smirked. The driver finally managed to get the coupling from Alan, and Alan began puffing towards out of the yards. The Fat Controller was furious when he heard of this. If you were our engine, I will send you away in disgrace, he said. Alan didn't care one single bit. He just snorted. Alan saw a sighting. He went to the sighting behind the workman's coach and went to the site to rest. And because of this, Alan was shut in his shed for a few days. Alan didn't care one bit. He thought of the coach's what he had done. The driver had to go home right now since he's forbidden to arrive in Alan for a couple of weeks. So the Fat Controller was driving his car along. He soon got off Ellsbridge. He was soon arrived at Ellsbridge and walked towards the hills. Hello. Tom had looked in the door. Yes, oh. No engine, you say? Oh dear. I'll have to send him in to take his place then. The next day, Alan was at the sighting, waiting for it to be taken for scrap, because he'd been stuck there for a couple of days. Alan, I forgave you, and I decided to give you one more chance of flying a train. Apparently, they need some engine. They could pass a train. You need to take it there. I would like you to take it and bring it there. Yes, sir, said Alan sadly. But Alan was secretly happy. He was trying to hold back his excitement. The driver came back. Alan beamed from happiness that he finally got a train. Alas, I have my own train of my own to pull, and with proper coaches, he sang loudly. Alan trusts backwards down the track towards the Dapper station. He was very excited. And now I'm going to show the engines what Alan the little red engine can do, he said happily. Alan chucked up down the track, reversing. He felt pleased. Like all the other engines, big engines, Alan doesn't like taking his own trains. He saw Thomas shunting some trucks. Thomas, be a good engine and get my coaches ready. Thomas snorted. You silly engine, can't you just shut it yourself? Why? I'm a tank engine. Duh, exactly. Hey, Oliver, yeah, Thomas? Do you know where the coaches are? Oh, yeah, I just delivered them. They're right by the site over there. Okay, thanks, Oliver. Go get... The coaches are at the site right by Never Sheds. Thanks. Do I have to shut them my own? Yes. Fine. Alright. Alan was soon filled it with water and set off. And Alan, you need to take good care this time. Be quiet, Thomas. I know what to do. do. Then why did you give me the coaches like I told you to? I'm busy. I'm getting this train ready. Do it yourself. I hope he knows what he's doing, said Thomas. Me too, said Thomas's driver. Alan, watch where you're going, cried Gordon. Shut it, Gordon. Alan was about to go was on his way to Knapford when the telephone came from the signal box for Timmins Shed's signal box. Stop, you red engine! What's the problem, Alan? Then cheerfully. I'm sorry, Alan. Edward's taking your coaches today. They're only coaches a variable, so coaches a variable. Luckily, we got some more. Thank you, Alan beamed, and reversed back to play his coaches. But Alan was coupled to some great coaches. Bother! He said, I can't come. I'm supposed to be taking orange coaches. Wait a second. What? That's Sensei didn't say. Wait a second. These are the. But before Alan could say another word, they were soon painted into colors. It was 3 minutes later. Wait a second, said Alan. These are. Hey, these are old coaches. Alan, come on, said the driver. Fine, I guess there was to do. Alan just slowly along the tracks with his coaches. But something didn't feel right. Alan was pulling some coaches that were old and creaky. Hadn't been touched for a long, looked like it hadn't been touched for a long time. Alan soon arrived at Lord Timber where he met Tomar again. Tomar tried his best not to say a word, but Alan saw him. Hello, Tomar, said Alan. Hello, Alan. How are you today? Now, Alan, good. Now, Alan, I want you to take it very slowly. You know what happens when you bump the coaches a little too hard. I know. Soon, his whistle, and Alan puffed away with his coaches. Tomar could sense that trouble was coming. He was jumping down the track. Alan was soon jumping down the track, passing St. Navers Station. All right, Alan. I'm doing good. I think I'll be doing if I pick up some speed. Alan jumped carefully, or should I say recklessly, down the track. He was soon passing every single station at every single country. Why, I get it, he was not puffing every country. But I should say a recorder. Alan pursued shuffling down the track as fast as he could. Then he saw Henry's tunnel. All right, Henry's tunnel is coming next. I shall whistle. Alan whistled and went to the tunnel. Went to the tunnel. The next day, the Fat Control was doing some arrangements. But he was wait when a telephone came. That's odd. I better go back to my office, see what's the matter, he said. Ed. So Tom Hat and when he came out pale. What do you see, sir? said the station master with his new hat. It's Alan. What? Alan, he's gone. Alan's gone? You mean that red engine? Yes. Alan just disappeared. It almost like he disappeared to thin air. That's unfortunate. All the passengers made out the tunnel, including the engineer, the controller, or should I say, the guard, and the fireman made out of the tunnel. They waited for the engine to come out, but he didn't came. Not even the coaches. In fact, the whole train came out. So, why are you telling me this? Because I want you to send an operation, searching operation. Really? Said it. Yes, we need to find Alan at once. The Fat Controller went back to his office. 3 days later, the Fat Controller came out. It's no use, he said to himself. What's the matter, sir? This is the same station master. I contact everyone. Edward, Thomas, Tomar, and Ben searched for the engine, but he was never found. So Tom Hat was right. Everyone had heard about Alan's disappearance. Nobody don't know what to say. Everyone who was doing Alan's work was still thinking about it. When the Alan's controller heard about it, he was surprised. Alan would never go disappearing like that. Everyone was talking about it, including Gordon. This was very confusing. Saying. Thomas was also confusing. Saying Toby and Percy woke up and they had heard about the incident with Alan. But this was very confusing. See, what was going on to this world? Some people will say, how could Alan go disappear right now like that? If the passengers who got a ticket, who buy the ticket for the midnight train, and survived along with the crew itself and the guard. If there was a trade, and for passengers, with the entry went into the tunnel with this here. Why did a bunch of passengers did too? Toad the brake van was talking to a policeman. So you're saying to me, Mr. Brake Van, that you didn't know any of this? No, sir. Ask Mr. Oliver. He He should know. Thank you, Toad. Or say, Mr. Brainman. No problem. Oliver, do you know anything about this? No, sir. Sir. All I remember is that I brought some coaches along, but Edward took them away because he had they're the only coaches available. So I was assigned back to Little Western. That's all I can know, sir. Oh, I see. Thank you, Oliver. They soon found Thomas misshunting the yards. Thomas was told that have he know anything about the engine. Thomas know that the engine was taking the train. That was it. The policeman asked any engine who was talking to Alan about any disappearance. Emily, first it was Emily, then it was Gordon. Then it was Edward. And then Tamar, who was the last one. And they even asked station masters, stirs, and everything. A Thomas driver who was in Thomas' cab eating his lunch while they were waiting for all the passengers to get bored. Or got called from the signalman up down the line from last night's events. It was coming from Croc Station. He said that he kept hearing puffing down the track past the viaduct, but he never found anything. Meanwhile, he got a call from Crosby. Crosby Sigmund. And he was in his office. Then he got a knock on the door. It was the station master's guard. Hey, have you seen Alan? No. Oh, wait. Who's Alan? The big red engine, you idiot. Oh, yeah, that little red engine. No engines passed by yet. That's possible. Take it. I just come back from the guard and I've seen our engine anywhere. I swear, mate, the engine, if it wasn't an engine, I would have seen it. Look, I was on the train and I haven't seen our engine anywhere. It's almost like he disappeared in thin air. What are you talking about? Calm down, have a cup of tea, come with me, and explain what you're trying to say. The station master told the signalman everything that he told. 1 minute, the engine was chuffing towards the tunnel, and the next, he and the passengers and the guard and the crew were floating in the air. But they were all knocked out. The, the station master was very shaken up, and so was the signalman. They went to search for the engine, but none was found. Out. Policemen and everyone. The engine. But none was found. The engines were telling. Rather want to tell us stories about the engine. But sad. The engine was never found again. The Boko, the diesel engine, was sometimes it would be arranged to take. Would sometimes take passengers and Sue went to search for the engine. The diesel rolled past Henry's forest. He went to search for the engine, while his driver did. But when he came back, he said he had found nothing. Then they saw something in the distance. It was the engine's crew. They told they woke up. Next they went to the next day, or waking up here. This was confusing. What happened to the engine? Did Alan? How could an engine's crew got to Henry's forest? It's after they entered the tunnel. They said that they once were at the tunnel outside the tunnel, but they were all knocked out. They fell to the ground. And the next they were woken here. Maybe somebody must have collected them and must have placed them there and to rest. It's the passengers. They told where the passengers are. They found all the passengers who were in Boko's train the entire time. They told them they've been looking for the engine for quite some time, but none was found. This was very confusing. What happened to the engine himself? Oh, how could a crew got here? Remembering what happened to why were the passengers not with them? Though when they were at Henry's forest. If a train would disappear, why not the passengers or the crew or the guard himself? This was very confusing. So they decided to forget all this ever happened and decided to move on from it. The people decided to move away from Sodor. Feel like it'd be a little too dangerous to go here. There might be any disappearance. But soon they canceled the Midnight Express run all the way to Vicarstown. It was soon discontinued. The presence of all the people and all the engine itself. And that, my fellow engine, is the end of the story, as the world public knows. Some people say the engine such as the engine I told you about, puffing down the line. They can see sort of red, just like me. Some people say they see the engine known as Alan, chuffing down the line with 3 sets of coaches behind him. But no one could say it was real or not. James was worried now. He's been listening closely. Couldn't deny it. It was kind of makes sense. And engines sometimes get angry for some reason, and that causes us to get that out of control. Even so, he wasn't entirely sure he should believe, as this engine claimed. James laughed at first, then he realized something. James thought the story carefully and groaned. Preposterous, said James. I never heard such a thing. Are you, the engine looked at James. Are you Abe's concerned? Are you calling me a liar? He said crossly. No, said James. I'm just telling you it just doesn't happen. Ghosts don't exist, and coaches certainly can't do that either. The engine groaned in painfully upset and looked up in the sky. Deny it all you want, my little red friend, but hear my warning. Some of the coach doesn't take kindly to get mistreated. They have their ways of getting even. And so, rather, such as death, potential of retribution. And whatever, Red Engine. Anyway, it's late. And I have a name, you know. No, you rusty red scrap-bearing bug. Oh, and what is that? The engine looked, smiled. Alan. Nice to meet you, Al. Oh. Suddenly, the coach groaned. The coaches suddenly groaned loudly. The engine, Alan, gave a heavy sigh. I rested long enough. I must be going now. Must keep time, you know. James was surprised. He waited for the engine to leave. The red engine Jim blew his whistle, we steamed, and left the yards instantly. James thought he could hear coaches clattering the track. One moment the engine was right there, but when it came around the curve, it was gone in a cloud of steam. James thought of the story very carefully. Pah! Stupid engine. I'll see a good ghost if I see one. He's probably got some bad coal or bad war or whatever. I got no time for this. And soon, James closed his eyes and went to sleep. The next day, James was waiting for his passenger to get on board. As he did, he heard Thomas's whistle. Oh, James was still thinking about the story. At first, James didn't hear Thomas' whistle because he was busy thinking. Then Thomas himself came along with Annie and Clarabelle. He was happy to see James. Hello, James, he tooted happily. What? Oh, hello, Thomas. Sorry, I didn't see you there. James, are you okay? Hey, Thomas. I'm okay. I'm just thinking about what happened last night. What happened last night? Thomas said concernedly. Well, first of all, I got into an accident, and then I have a little accident. Then a few days later, ago, you might say. Sorry, my head is spinning a bit because the stupid red tank engine told me that I need to show coaches or anyone with respect. Otherwise, they might pay me back. Thomas, let's smile. James, you're funny. No, Thomas, I'm serious. There is a red tank engine on Sodor. Who's that engine? You have engine. Thomas was started laughing, but you could see that James wasn't laughing and got surprised. What engine, James? Well, an engine, you know. Oh, James, we only have one red engine. That's you. Oh. No, a tank engine. James. James, Ames, it can't be your brother Eagle. We only have two red engines. Well, three. Well, there's you and the Eagle and Victor, but he's a narrow gauge engine, along with Scarlo and Rheneas and Ivo Hugh. Yeah, that's all I think. I think that's all the red engines we have so far. Yeah, yeah, but we do have another red engine. Honest, it's a tank engine. James, did you talk some bad coal or something? No, Thomas. This a red tank engine. Red tank engine. We only have one red engine, and you, red engine. We also have tank engines like Skarloey, Rheneas, and Victor, and Ivo Hugh. But they're tank engines, but they're narrow gauge engines. No, we do have another red tank engine. Who? Alan. Alan? Now that's a name I haven't heard for a very long time. Why's that? Said James. Well, he came to our island. Either after Tomar and Ben came to Sodor. Then the other night he had to take a train, faster train, then the next day he was just gone. But I think he was just sent away. He was just sent away to get. But I think he was just sent away after to lay his passengers behind. What are you talking about? Well, other rumors say that he went through a tunnel. But he never came out. Only his crew, the guard, and the passengers came out. But not him. Ever since then, the track was discontinued. The Midnight Express passenger train was canceled. So yeah, that's all I can tell you right now. Then, the guard with the whistle. Oh, sorry, James. I wasn't going to tell you more, but I had to go. I'll tell you more in the shed about Alan, okay? All right, Thomas. Miss. And Thomas puffed away with Annie and Clarabelle. James was confused. How could he see a red engine? And that's so far. Thomas, called James. How come I saw Alan last night? Oh, my dear James. Alan has been on Sodor for 30 years. You've probably been seeing things. And Thomas, Miss chuffed along the track further away from James until he was out of sight. James was even more confused. How could he see an engine that arrived at the sheds so late? James didn't know there were any schedules for midnight passenger trains or anyone coming through. James remembered the story. He looked hard. Then James became worried. Then a shrilling shot went to the big red engine's smoke box and his boiler as it all became too clear. It was possible to see an engine that hadn't been on Sodor for so long in a shabby condition, unless it hadn't really been there the entire time. It was unknown. It could be a dream, or James was just imagining. Had stayed up too late that he started imagining things. The guard with the whistle and James puffed away, not seeing a complaint to anything. James is now a different engine now. Now, he's still being shocked a bit, but he never let the words that he uses for any sort of reason. And that was something the red engine didn't want to say again. But at night, while all the engines were asleep, you could hear some whistling coming from the main line. engine. Strange looking, and sometimes strange looking engine, puffing down the track, pulling 3 orange coaches behind him, without no passengers or crew. The engine chuffed along the line. Coaches, and was gone just like that into the mist. Mist, just like that.